there, it's Collector B and welcome back to my channel. So today we have a manga haul video. This is all the manga that I have bought since the last manga haul video. I'll go ahead and link it up in the cards for you if you haven't seen that yet, but this is everything that we're going to be going through today. So let's dive in and look at this pile. Alright, so this first one here is a big box. It is a hefty guy here. It is the Part 1 box set for One Piece. This is the collected volumes of volumes 1 through 23. It covers the East Blue and Baroque works, and it is a gorgeous box. I am so happy I've got this. And if you haven't already seen, I did a whole manga shelf tour of all the manga that I have in my collection up to that point when I filmed the video. And I have on that shelf over there the omnibus edition, so the 3-in-1 volumes for the manga, the big chunky editions. But if I can get the singles, that's what I prefer. Initially, when I started way back when in my channel, I had just had 2 bookshelves only, smaller like Target version bookshelves, and I just needed to conserve space. So that's why I went with the omnibus. It's like, you know, the chunkier volumes, but they save space on the shelf, and so I had those on there before. But now, as you can see, I have a lot more space. I still have to think about space. You always have to do that as a collector, is think about how much you can manage with space and everything, but I definitely want the singles, and so I am going to go that route going forward. So I'm going to be giving those to someone or selling them, but going forward I definitely want these singles. So this is the route I'm going to be taking for the box set version, and let's look at it. So for these boxes, they open up and then outward into this beautiful little display here. And like I said before, it's volumes 1 through 23 on here, and I think there's also some bonuses. Yeah, there's something here. So for this bonus, we have this here. It says Romance Dawn One Piece on the front there, and the back, and it looks like a little mini manga pages, little mini story. Let's see, it says, can't get enough of pirate adventures. Ever wonder what Oda Sensei was dreaming up before One Piece began? Well, now you can find out. On the next page is Ichiro Oda's prototype version of One Piece. And if you don't mind spoilers, read on to find out what Oda Sensei has to say about the story that first starred a pirate named Luffy. So that's really cute. It was his concept for how One Piece would start. That's really nice. And it has interviews at the end with Ichiro Sensei, so that's awesome. Little bonus there. Really cool. And then it comes with a little poster. So this poster is a double-sided. On one side we have the original pirate crew members on that, and then the other side is them again. So it's cute. Little mini poster bonuses. So it's that, and then I'll go through really fast with these and show you. So here's volume 1. Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and then Volume 6, 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, Volume 11, Volume 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So yeah, that is the volumes 1 through 23. Some great advantages to the box sets versus buying them like individually is that you definitely save a few dollars off of each volume getting them in this whole set here, which is wonderful. Every penny counts. And I've heard like a few people for these kind of box sets that they sometimes get like a double of a volume by mistake, like they packaged it by mistake with repeat volume, so that could be a con. But otherwise, I mean, if you know you're going to get the whole set and you want to get a big bulk at a time, this is the way to go with these box sets. And definitely like during holidays and that time, you know, those special times of the year, they might even go even cheaper, which is what happened when I bought this during a holiday sale. I got it even more discounted than the price that it regularly sells for. So wonderful, so happy with this. Longtime viewers know that I'm a big One Piece fan. I have probably more Portrait of Pirate, which is a Mega House figure set, like this one here, for One Piece. Like that's probably the anime that I have most figures of, and you can see Luffy here again. But yeah, I'm just a big One Piece fan, have been for probably over 10 years now, when they started showing One Piece I think on 4Kids English dub, so I've been keeping up with the English dub all these years. So I just really love One Piece, and so I thought, let's do it properly. You know, single volumes here, and we will go on and put them beautifully on the shelf going forward with these single versions. So that's that for this one here. I'm gonna put this aside, and we will go on with this rest of this pile here. So another one that has me really excited, and I'm sure you probably know about this series, but it's Frieren Beyond Journey's End. I have volumes 1 and 2 here. And this one has been a really big hit anime-wise. I just started watching the anime, and I said, you know what, I want to definitely collect the manga as well. It's just a really beautiful story. And here is volume 1. The spine. That. And then we have volume 2 here. There's that. And I believe the second season of the anime has already been announced for January 2026. So the first season's already out if you're curious about the story and want to start the anime. But for the manga here, like I said, it's a really beautiful, like kind of like a bittersweet story, but it's definitely like has deep volume in it with the message and the story. So it stars our main protagonist here, Frieren. She is an elf, and I think it shows her better on this one. She is an elf here, meaning she lives a very long time. She doesn't seem to age. With the title here, Beyond Journey's End, it basically is referencing back to her original party members that she went on a quest with. She sees them start to die off in age, and she realizes that she didn't really try to make a connection with those party members. You know, it was very surface level. Maybe, you know, I'm with you in a group, in a party, we're on a mission to defeat monsters and dragons and things, and she realizes that once she loses a dear friend, that she didn't try, she didn't make that, you know, those deep connections. She wants to now learn more about humans and, you know, just form those deep bonds and understand more, because she didn't really try before, and she realizes when she loses that dear friend how precious life is, how fleeting it is. And so from there, this elf, she is going on meeting new people and building those connections that she missed on before with the past friends. So I think that's really beautiful, and you get, it almost reminds me a bit of like Lord of the Rings, kind of like that grander scale, those deep bonds that you make as you're going on this journey. You know, she's a mage, she can do magic. So she's just, you know, on this grand adventure again, and now she wants to form those connections. She wants those deep bonds and memories and everything. So it's beautiful to see that expand, that journey begin again with intention now. So I think it's so cool. It has that medieval kind of style, and it's very beautiful so far. So I'm really excited to see both more of the anime and also go on with the manga here. So I'm starting off right here with these first two. So that's the first two of these for Frieren. And then this one is a bit of a different pace. We have Grand Blue Dreaming. We have the first 5 volumes of this one. This one's definitely an older teen volume series. It has more raunchy comedy. It's, I believe, about college students. Yeah, so it says, after graduating from an all-boys high school, Irori Kitahara moves away from home to go to a college in a seaside town. He's eager to start a new chapter in his life, one filled with dreams of reinventing himself, meeting beautiful girls, and reveling in his youth. But when his new abode is his uncle's dive shop, Iori's college debut doesn't turn out as glamorously as he planned. Can Iori keep himself afloat, or will the booze-fueled antics of his university diving club wash him away? So you can tell it's a college atmosphere, so you're going to definitely get the, you know, more party side. I heard it has a lot of comedy, even some romance, so I am very intrigued. And like I've said before, I love to mix it up. I love to explore different genres and just get a really good story. So this is volume 1 here. Back. And volume 2. Volume 3. Volume 4. And volume 5. So yeah, as you can tell with the covers, you're gonna get swimsuits, the beach, fun, and just like all the hijinks that they all get up with as college students. So I thought that was really cool. These 5 volumes here. Definitely gonna get a good chunk of the story with this. So that's cool. Okay, and the next part, we have another little bundle here. This one is a continuation from a prior manga haul. It might have been the most recent manga haul, but we have the next 4 volumes of Yakuza Fiance, a favorite of mine. We have volumes 5 through 8, so 5, 6, 7, and 8. And here are these gorgeous covers. This is volume 5. Okay, volume 6. Volume 7. And volume 8. Okay, so like you could see with these covers here, they are definitely a bit spicier. A bit more mature and adult on here, like these. And the rating on here is older teen, 17 plus. But what I really love about this story, it reminds me like Korean dramas, kind of a bit like more mature with the relationships, the romance, the drama. But we have these two, as you can tell, these two are our main characters, and we have the Yakuza, like the Japanese gangster mafia world, intertwined with these high schoolers, and she has agreed to go to another city. She is from Osaka, but she's going to Tokyo to basically see if this guy is her soulmate, her match. Her family has said, go to Tokyo for, you know, a few months, meet this guy, meet his family, and see if you would want to marry him. So it's basically like 2 Yakuza families seeing if there can be a match, a union between them with these 2. And so she goes to Tokyo, meets him, and realizes how cold and calculating he is, how dangerous he is, because he is involved in the Yakuza world, where she is just kind of on the outskirts of it, not really getting involved. But she sees how cold-blooded he is, what, like a, you know, cold-blooded killer, basically, what he can really do. And yeah, so she's like not wanting anything to do with him. And he initially doesn't want anything to do with her until he sees how she is actually like inside. Like she has that Yakuza personality as well, where if she gets angry enough, she can definitely like put him in his place. And then from there, once that happens, he sees her in a new light, and he proclaims his love to her. But then at that point, she's like, I don't think this is real. This guy's crazy. And I don't think I want anything to do with him. But she starts slowly to care for him as well. And so it's kind of like a back and forth. Like, does he really care for her, or is he just being dramatic and weird about it? Because he now, you know, thinks that she's his. And so it's just like this back and forth. They start to learn about each other and appreciate each other. And she really starts falling for him, even though she knows she shouldn't. And he, even though he has this facade where he's like, I love you, you can see that he's actually feeling that after a while. So I loved the anime and the first part of the manga for this, and I know that this manga goes past the anime where it stopped at, so I am just so intrigued to see where it keeps going. Because the story is a lot more mature, a lot darker. You get a little bit of the high school during the day, but then you get a lot of the Yakuza, you know, dark underbelly of the world at night. And yeah, these two, like I said before, if you didn't know that they were in college, because they go to nightclubs and all this stuff, so they're going to the adult world. They're mature far beyond their years, and so you're getting a lot more in this story as they start to become so much closer, and you start to see their relationship grow from there. Even though it's crazy and even wacky at times, it's just, yeah, it's so worth it. So definitely love this one. Definitely happy to continue on this series for this next volumes. All right. Okay, this next one's definitely a bit different. I'll tell you the story behind this one, but this one is called, it's volume 1 of I'm a Wolf, but My Boss is a Sheep. And so this one's very different. It seems really cute. Like a business, yeah, like 2 office workers, I think it might be, yeah. So it's a salaryman working for a betting company. He has a pretty standard routine, but then he has to hide his huge crush on his beautiful supervisor. And you can see here that they're different species of animal. And you may be wondering, okay, well, that one seems a bit different out there. Like, how did you get this one? But the reason is, it's totally a tangent, and I'll grab it here. I was looking on Mercari, which is like an online store for like books and other things. But in my other world of reading like, you know, regular fiction novels, I really love like fantasy and romance and like that in regular novel reading. So Belladonna is a series I really love, and it's about this girl being able to handle poison and meeting death itself and maybe having a relationship, you know, falling in love with death. But I wanted to find it signed if I could, for not a crazy exorbitant price. And I did actually find it for a pretty reasonable price, like $20 or so. It was a really surprise, but I wanted it signed, and it's signed here in gold. And you might be wondering what's the connection here. But the person was selling this book, and to get free shipping, I just needed to spend like a few more dollars, and this was like $2 or $3 that they were also selling it for. And so I'm like, okay, I'll bundle it together, and then I'll get a manga that I can read because it sounds interesting and promising, and I'll get my signed copy. And what was extra intriguing, I'm sorry, yeah, totally a tangent, right, about this one, was that the cover, like the author signed the cover as well with this beautifully cute little ghost with a top hat, and it says Pip Pip Cheerio with little steam coming off of the coffee cup that it's holding, and then the author's name right here, Adeline Grace. Yeah, Adeline Grace on there. But look at how cute this was. Once I saw this copy of this hardcover, I knew I had to have it. I love little cute things with little hats. It's adorable. I love it. With little tiny hats. And so that's how I ended up with this manga, because I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting, and then I could add it together, get free shipping, and come out with a crazy good deal with a signed copy of a book and this extra, edition on the front with this adorable little ghost, a book I really wanted. And then get this manga here. So that is how I ended up with this cute copy, not having heard the title before, this manga series. So I am going to definitely enjoy myself with this one. Yeah, so very cute. This is how I ended up with this one. But it is adorable. The artwork is really nice, and I love that it's with older adults. Yeah, and it's just going to be really intriguing because they are half human, half with animal features. They're in the business world, working adults, and there's gonna be some romance involved with different animal species. Yeah, with their boss as a sheep. Cute. Okay, so that one's that. And then we're almost done here. The next one I have is a romance read. This one is Cheeky Brat, is the title of volumes 1 and 2. And this is volume 1 here. And then we have volume 2. Okay, that. And so this one sounded adorable. I don't know if there's a lot of reviews about this one or not, because it's kind of a toss-up. The reason I say that, it's kind of a toss-up when you have like the high school story of two like opposites kind of butting heads and everything, but it seems to be where he's on a basketball team and she's volunteering to be kind of like a manager or a coach, if I'm remembering right. And so you get this cool guy who kind of like picks on her a little bit, and bugs her until they end up having a relationship in the end. So it could go either way depending on how that's handled. If there's this too much that the guy gets away with, you know that kind of thing. So I am going to see how that works on this one, but the story sounds intriguing. It says, I, Yuki, became the basketball team manager for one reason. I had a crush on the captain and wanted to be with him, always. But when Kido-senpai suddenly announced he got a girlfriend, where did that leave me? In the club room, crying my eyes out, until this cheeky brat of an underclassman showed up. And now that stupid, pretty playboy, Naruse, seems determined to wiggle his way into every corner of my life. So yeah, that does sound intriguing. She had a crush on someone else on the basketball team and wanted to be close to him, so volunteered herself to help with the team. But then this younger guy is probably going to try to help her, in the beginning at least, try to get the other guy, but then maybe fake dating. That's what I'm thinking is going to be happening. So yeah, let me know. Have you read this one, heard anything about it, including the other ones? Like, are they recommended? Do you have any recommendations of your own? Yeah, so that's with Cheeky Brat. And then the very last one is a spicier read. This one is still in its plastic, and I just wanted to keep it on until I went through it with you to show you. Like, this one is, it says warning, parental advisory, explicit content. It still says older teen, 17 plus, but it has that warning. The other ones didn't, even though they're in the same category, but it does say right there, explicit warning. So that is the reason there's plastic wrap on there, but this title is called I'll Never Be Your Crown Princess. So that is that. You can get the idea of the type of story. It would be more adult, definitely, with the plastic wrapping. Let me take it off really quick. There's that on the side. So the story on this one is, I will not be your plaything. Livy, who was Japanese in her previous life, is now the daughter of a duke and engaged to marry the gorgeous crown prince Frederick. Sounds like a dream come true, except this is a world that practices polygamy, and Liddy refuses to marry a man with multiple wives. To sabotage the engagement, she loses her virginity to a stranger, but that plan is thwarted by a surprising revelation. What will happen to Liddy next in this hot fantasy romance? So yeah, another intriguing title. And this one had plastic wrap on it. Yeah, the artwork looks nice. Lots of clean lines and everything. But of course, with the summary, you're gonna get a lot steamier romance read on that. I'm just surprised that the rating isn't mature, like M or M+, however it's written for mature. I guess they decide that it's all right at the lower rating as long as they put a warning on it. I don't know. But yeah, so that's that title there. And we'll see how this one goes. See if I'll continue. You'll know if I get more volumes if we continue on this one. But that's the last one. All right, so that was today's manga haul. What'd you think? Did you see anything that you've already read or anything that you recommend based off of this little pile here? Yeah, I'm super excited, like I said, about One Piece, starting the singles collection, having those beautiful, colorful volumes on my shelf. Really excited about that. And then, yeah, there's a few more romance reads on here that I'm excited to get through. And Frieren, definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, so I am just so excited and happy you're here. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, definitely look forward to more videos. There's gonna be more manga hauls and definitely more figure videos of unboxings and things like that, and definitely travel videos as well. So look forward to all of that on my channel, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye.